What is going on?
Hello, everyone.
We're back.
We are back with the trash compactor. We had some exciting spoilers today. The Thrawn spoiler looking pretty cool. There's a new Director Krennic unit.
We could talk about.
Yeah, there's no reason we can't talk about them.
Let's look at.
This is an aggro on aggro matchup. This game will probably last 35 minutes and go.
Yeah.
You could even go 3 games, but
Let's look at Thrawn here.
yeah. When you use a when defeated ability, exhaust this leader. If you do, use that ability again.
That's like an absurd ability, right? Like,
yeah.
I think that's the most cracked ability I've ever seen on a leader.
It's pretty good.
There's not even a cost to this.
That's correct.
With a ability that's powerful, it'd be like pay 1 and exhaust this leader.
Yeah.
When defeated ability is triggered to trigger it a second time. This just kind of happens.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. His flip side.
It's just a 4/7 that does all the
same ability. This is just like an evergreen ability that will always be good and probably get better and probably be OP at some point in the future.
Yeah.
I just think he's crazy.
It can only be used once per round, but still.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
That's still a lot of value.
Ruthless Raider does like 4 damage to base and 4 damage or 2 damage to 2 things, right?
Yeah, I think the stuff that was pointed out the most was Ruthless Raider, Confederate Courier, Inferno 4. You can use its when defeated twice, which is pretty good. And really, I think the enablers with this Thrawn are kind of what is making the deck way more attractive. There was a Krennic. If you want to pull that Krennic up real fast.
Let's take a look at Mr. Krennic here. Because this is very exciting too.
Yeah.
2/2 shielded. The first unit you play each round has a when defeated ability, costs 1 less.
Yeah. This guy actually lets you play Super Laser Tech for 2. So you could even like timely in a Super Laser Tech and have it die immediately.
Love his Krennic art too.
Yeah, it's sick art.
I need that in hyperspace.
2/2
2/2 shielded is just good. We know that 2/2 shielded is just good. It's always good. So sign me up for Mr. Krennic. Yeah, it enables so much random crazy stuff. Right?
He lets you play the
Greedo for free. Yeah,
Greedo's free. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can play Krennic and Greedo on the first turn. That's
pretty good.
That's something. We got something. We got a stew going. Maybe
that's a lot of stats right there, huh?
That's a real sick turn 1. There were some.
Let's look at the shuttle too.
Yeah, there was a landing shuttle that Justin skipped over because it was too boring.
Too boring. I'm sorry. This one's too cool because I'm thinking about Garsak.
Yeah, this is a real sick Gar-Saxon enabler, I think.
And Krennic also is really good in Gar-Saxon.
Yeah.
Really, really good in Gar-Saxon. Yeah. So those fit together pretty nicely. So you could like curve Krennic into this. Gar-Saxon Yellow, you could play Krennic Greedo, curve into this next turn.
Yeah.
It lets you like steal tokens or experience tokens from...
You can even shield your Greedo by stealing like theirs. So.
I mean, you can move it from friendly units.
You could actually move the shield from that to another unit, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. You can move its shield somewhere else.
You may take control of a token upgrade on a unit, attach it to a different eligible unit. So this shuttle is actually extremely powerful because you can play this and shield something that's in play already, right?
Yeah. These spoilers have made my brain spin more than I think any of the other ones.
Yeah.
Like this, there's so much potential around these interactions, right?
Yeah.
Insane.
So this shuttle is really sick.
Parties with long pike, yeah.
What's
the other one you wanted to look at?
This
guy?
Yeah, there was this landing shuttle. This is like I don't think this makes the cut, but any card that says draw a card on it gets players excited at some level or another.
I mean, it is a 2/4 in space for 3. If you have Krennic out, it costs 2.
It probably combos.
It's good for pilots.
On GI, you do the 2 damage to Deathwatch Loyalist on 3 resources, hit 5, deploy this, gift the shield over, then can hit for 10 that turn if they do nothing about it. Yeah, big.
Yeah.
Right.
Still,
fair enough. Yeah, the Chewie does like this ship. Yeah, this is a real sick space defender with that Chewie. So
that was all of them, right?
No,
this guy. Yeah, this one was sick too.
This is a cool one. The droid missile platform,
and it's a droid. It's a separatist. It's a transport. It costs 4/2.
Funny enough, Grievous can give this Sentinel.
Yeah, which is giving this Sentinel is very relevant. Very good.
very similar to the Star Wing or whatever, the 4-1.
Yeah. And 3 indirect damage is a lot.
Yeah.
Indirect damage.
Yeah. I think. I mean, like doubling that with Thrawn's kind of crazy because like 6 indirect damage.
I mean, that's killing something or dumping a lot of damage on the base. I mean, so a lot of people, if they don't want to like have their units die, they might put them 1 away from death and then just dump the rest of the damage on the base, especially early. I mean, that's coming out second turn,
right? And 1 damage away from death actually enables the cards that are like your opponent's units get -1/-1 until the end of the turn, stuff like that. Right?
You're like. Also, your separatist ship that does the damage when played, when defeated. That triggering twice is really good too.
That card is a when defeated ability. So Krennic lets you play that cheaper. The Krennic is really good.
It's crazy.
The Krennic is really good. This Onyx Squadron Brute here. This is sick. There's a lot of like control decks that I feel like want value from their dudes. This helps extend the game quite a bit.
It's a cyclical trip too.
There's a 1/2 Sentinel pilot that was spoiled that is just blue. It's an Imperial pilot, and so it's not today, but it was like sometime last week. But it gives the ship Sentinel. So a lot of those ships you can give Sentinel.
Yeah, like giving the draw card 1 Sentinel. Yeah, giving that guy Sentinel is pretty solid.
Yeah,
very exciting. So. That being said, let's dive back into Trash Compactor. This tournament is going to usher us directly in the new set.
Yeah.
Theoretically, hopefully. It's close to it.
Yeah.
We're very excited now. I'm ready to brew some Thrawn, man.
Yeah, Thrawn looks fun. I mean, Thrawn's like a fan favorite. I think the Thrawn from the first set got a lot of play just because he's Thrawn.
Yeah.
And I think this Thrawn, being in blue, I think a lot of people, especially with his ability... I think a lot of people would be a lot more excited about Thrawn this time around. So.
I think he's pretty OP, but bring it on, I guess.
You could do a Thrawn Piet Twin Suns deck would probably be really sick, right?
Oh god, it'd be nuts. Raider on 5.
Raiders, red. Raiders red, right?
Yeah, you could play Thrawn with Krennic. No, okay, wait. Yeah, okay. So Twin Suns you can't play.
I don't know how Twin Suns works.
I don't know how it works either.
Yeah. Do you get a base? Do you play 4 colors in Twin Suns?
Thrawn and Palpatine.
Yeah, Thrawn and Palpatine is sick because you get to play stuff and then sack it, right? So you do get to play 4 colors.
You could play like Raider on 4 then, right?
Yeah, so you could play blue, red, green capital ships. Krennic would let you play Raider on 4 with Piet, right?
Mahdi with Thrawn.
Yeah, Mahdi and Thrawn is sick. All the exploit stuff from this set, there's probably not going to be any exploit stuff in the next set, but all the exploit stuff actually does get better.
Yeah, definitely.
I rolled a 10. Yours rolled off the table. Oh, it was fixing to roll off the table when I saved it.
1.
I have initiative, which seems important in this matchup. Changes to Leia. Leia lost 3 cards. Lost Wrecker. Lost Sabine, the 2-drop. And lost...
What? No. Yularen.
So, down 9 cards. We went old school. We brought back some other cards. That haven't seen play from the first set in a while. Echo-based Defender is back in the mix. Basically, everything that the deck lost at a curve, I replaced with something similar. I'm not using the Gorilla Attack Pod. I'm using Riken instead because I like Riken quite a bit. 1 base, 2 leaders is 3 colors, right?
Yep.
Yeah, plus villainy, right? So 4 total colors. That's where the 4th color comes from. Either villain or hero, right? At the first ban wave, not feeling good about your Sleeper Jin pick.
Jin got hit pretty hard.
I actually think Jin lost the most cards of any deck.
Yeah, funny enough.
Incidentally.
Yeah.
But that was because a bunch of red cards got hit and a bunch of...
she was just playing like
yellow
all the good cards in her deck, so...
Yeah.
It'd be like that.
Okay. one of you and one of you. We'll start things off with Battlefield Marine.
Stormtrooper.
I will take initiative.
Vanguard Infantry. Pass.
Wing Leader buff Battlefield Marine.
I will hit you for 3.
I'll hit you for 5.
This match might be pretty fast, huh?
Yeah, I think it will be.
I'm gonna play a super laser attack.
I will take initiative.
I'll hit you for 2. And pass.
All right. Leia for 7. I take 7 back as well. Okay. I'll Leia and hit you for 7.
Very well. I will IG for 3.
Okay. I will play K2.
I'm gonna OC exploit the super laser tech and capture K2.
Okay. I will take the initiative.
And deploy IG-88. I will play Steadfast Senator. I'll hit you for 5. I'll hit you for 4. And I'll hit you for 2. And pass.
Liar!
OC Sobek, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Always losing to that asshole. It's a good thing I can't be overwhelming barrage right here. I'd be livid. I would be livid if that were the case.
OC is high key a good card. I think OC was probably deserving of a ban for the first round.
I am going to deploy Leia.
And we're just gonna get IG-88 in there for 7.
Okay. All right. We are going to Rebel Assault. This is gonna be Battlefield Marine into OC for 6. Get back K2. We'll take 3. Leia into the Death Star Stormtrooper. Hate losing that damage on the base. Let's make sure I wasn't killing you. This was 5, 6, 11, and 2. 13, 25. I don't have... I have a 4 cause in my hand, but that's 29 damage, so that's not lethal, so I think I have to play a little bit of...
And you had lethal if you didn't kill the Stormtrooper there. Unless that was the entire attack, right? Because I could attack for 5.
Yeah,
for 4.
Yeah. So that doesn't do it there.
Action.
Yeah. And then Leia's gonna let the Wing Leader attack for 2. Attack your base for 2.
Question is, do I just take initiative here? You play on 4. That messes me up. I guess you play 4 cause. Yeah, I'll take initiative.
Okay. I will play the Echo Base Defender. And then I am going to pass. Draw.
Maul.
Oh my god.
Get mauled.
Yeah. That's the stupid super laser tech, man.
Yeah.
Because you got out turn early.
Turn early IG, turn on, got Sobek in there. Huge. Big.
I think these gotta come in. I think these gotta come in. And then what?
Too slow, too slow. Too slow.
Hey, you come out, I guess. Let's see if I'm wrong. See if I'm wrong. It's different. So like green red villainy, I'm not as worried about space as much.
I've got like Confederate couriers up there and I think a squadron of vultures, I guess.
Yeah, that turn was so bad. I took, I don't know how much damage.
It was like you were at 7 and went to 19 to 12.
Yeah, there's actually an argument not to use Leia's ability there because that I guess you would have OC'd the battlefield.
Yeah,
Marine.
if Marine had not been attacked, that turn,
you would have OC'd him
because that's save 5 damage.
If you ban all the good cards in the game, then IG-88's like a pretty good hero.
Yeah.
Nah, there's no open fire in here. I considered sideboarding open fire just to gun down IG-88 because I knew what the brackets were.
I'm mulligan. I don't think it'll get down to aspect cards, but maybe. The next round of ban should be pretty interesting, I think. Because it'll only be like 6 cards, right? Something like that.
I will play the Green Squadron A-Wing.
Okay. I gotta figure some shit out. Okay.
Yeah, attend PQs where our local PQ was canceled due to the weather. I'll take initiative.
Yes.
I will play red 3.
Hit you for 3.
I will attack you for 4.
Tech.
I'll take initiative.
Yes. Eight hours is quite a long time, and then we've played in a lot of tournaments that are that length or longer, and they are very taxing mentally.
Yeah. We haven't talked about it, but it's been like it's like 7 years ago now. But we played in this Keyforge tournament that was like 16 hours. It was like legit. It started at like 10 and did not end until like 2 in the morning.
It was brutal.
Yeah, that was like the craziest tournament that I think that we've played in as far as like time wise. So.
How'd you deal? You just do it. I don't know. There's no secret.
I will play a wing leader, and then I'm gonna buff red 3.
I'll hit you for 3.
I am going to Rebel Assault these chaps here. So this is going to hit you for 5, 6. And then this is going to hit you for 3, 4, 5. So take 11.
Okay. I'll play Cobb.
I will take initiative.
I'll hit you for 2. Yes.
Let's hit you for another 11.
Jesus.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I will.
That's
Look at
right.
Mando against such reckless hate. What the hell? Let's deploy IG.
I will send out Leia. What you got for her?
Nothing.
Out of aspect.
Nothing.
Breaking in.
Nothing at all.
Space. I finally went to the one place untouched by capitalism. Space.
Wow. I mean, I don't know what to say. Simply killed by ships.
Shake his hand and say GG.
That's pretty much all I can do.
Participating in the ground arena, a fool's errand.
Yeah. I think you might have lost the game if you had played one ground unit.
Yeah,
I didn't have OC Sobek in my hand.
Yeah. I was not. I had a Fighters for Freedom and a Cassian, and I was just like,
yep,
stick them down there. We'll just lane dodge each other.
I also didn't have the double 1-drop first turn. My hand was kind of awkward.
Yeah, because you didn't get the IG-88 extra damage.
Not that would have helped me much, but
yeah, stay out of the.
The Squadron of Vultures would have been nice, actually.
Some of you rebels are cool. Don't go to the ground arena tomorrow.
All right, let's finish this thing out.
All right,
record time.
Did you see the post of the Corn team that I put in the Blood Bowl chat in our Discord? Our buddy moved away, got into painting.
Oh,
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the blood spawn back there. He's sick, but yeah, looking forward to playing that. Our new season starts this week, so
yeah, those look really good. I love the bases too.
Yeah, the Wayne did those bases, so our buddy Jess painted them, and then Wayne did the bases for me. So he used slate chips from inside from his courtyard or whatever, like because he had like part of his house was remodeled or whatever. They used like slate chips, so he just like went out there and took some of those and kind of made the bases with it. So
super cool.
Yeah, stoked to play that team.
Does he do commissions?
Yeah, he does do commissions. He undercharges, which I would straight up even tell him to his face that like you could pay, like you could charge people more for what you did. So yeah, blood for the blood guy. I haven't played this is the 8th season in the store. I jumped in on the 7th season. I played Nobility, Norse, Amazons, Wood Elves, Vampires. I played Necromantic last season, so I'm looking forward to playing some Chaos. I haven't had a chance to. So many Blood Angels you need to get painted. Starting to get into the Gundam card game in a few months. Yeah, so the Gundam card game, like, there's like a beta release that's coming out that's going to be like really hard to get. Our store, basically, we told our community, we're going to put signups for this on X date, the 16th, 2 weeks before the tournament is supposed to happen. We're going to put signups. You have to sign up in the app, and then you also have to pay the store. And we sold out in less than 5 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
Which is crazy
wow.
for our store.
I didn't know that game was existing.
Yeah, its full release isn't coming until the full release won't be there until when is this full release? I think the full release is going to be in July. So yeah, you want the initiative?
I'm assuming. I would love that. I want to play droid deployment.
Okay. I will play the Green Squadron A-Wing.
This MF. I'll take initiative.
I'll pass.
I'm gonna play General Taggy.
Oh god. This game is going to be hyper violent. This is going to be hyper violent. Red 3.
I'll hit you for 3.
Yeah, I'll hit you for 4.
Love that. Okay. I'm gonna play Death Star Stormtrooper.
Good lord. Alright, I will take the initiative there.
Hit you for 2. And pass.
A bit of the old hyper violence. Okay. I will play the wing leader. Buff red 3.
Hit you for 2 or 3.
Okay. We're gonna Leia. So Green Squadron A-Wing's gonna hit you for 4. And then Red 3 is gonna hit you for 5. So a total of 9.
Hit you for 3.
I'm going to Metal Ceremony, Red 3, and the A-Wing.
Hit you for 2.
I will take the initiative.
Hit you for 2. Play a squadron of vultures. And pass.
Okay.
This turn. This is the last turn. This is the last.
This is the last
game.
turn. Either of these decks will be in the winner's bracket, and I have no idea. I have no idea.
Best of 5.
I guess this goes down there, huh? Okay. Well, Leia, Red 3 is going to hit you for 6. Green Squadron A-Wing is going to hit you for 5.
Okay. I think. Oh boy. I mean, I think I have to kill this stupid thing.
Yeah. It's I think there needs to be some sort of mechanic, not Sentinel, but some other mechanic for this type of situation where both people are ignoring each other. Because I feel like because you have attacked into me, you have lost the game,
Yeah,
right?
Right. Because I had to attack one of your ships.
Yeah.
This is 6 damage.
Yeah,
That
right.
I desperately need.
Yeah. However, you were forced into doing something you didn't want to do, right? Maybe that mechanic is just called the initiative. I don't know. But,
yeah. Leia wins that battle.
All right. I guess I will deploy Leia.
Well, can't kill Leia. I can't capture her with Lucy Sobek. So I guess I'll deploy. Well, I feel like I need the IG-88 damage, but I guess it's all the same. Yeah, I'll deploy IG.
All right.
Now I'm hoping that you have to kill IG-88 here, but I think you just hit me.
I attack you for 4.
For 4, okay. I will play Clone Commander Cody.
4 cause.
Alright, you just have to whiff 2 times. And I don't think you have any whiffs in your deck. Okay. Okay.
I sideboarded in Timely Intervention just because it's pretty good to get around OC Sobek.
K2 is probably like you can really good hits there.
You could like Timely a Fleet Lieutenant.
How much damage did I have there?
More than enough to kill me, right?
Yeah, I guess so. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13.
Plus IG-88.
Plus IG-88.
I guess he also gets the Commander Cody bonus, right?
Yeah, true. But also, I think if you weren't winning the game there, you had to kill.
Yeah.
You had to kill IG-88. Right?
Yeah.
And then I think I have to take all those attacks and put you to not dead, and then you kill me with 1 attack next.
Yeah.
Time, right? So I think still I was in trouble.
Yeah.
Because of mostly the Leia.
Right.
The action economy.
Yep. Yeah.
Is really what beat me there.
I think that's ultimately the problem with the go wide strategies in this game is the action economy, right? Like playing the most efficient thing on curve and then attacking. And in Leia's case, you get 2 attacks. So
this is a space. I did sideboard open fires, which would have been sick.
Yeah,
but I did not see them.
Yeah, I sideboarded in Timelies and took out the Bright Hopes because I think those are those are the least amount of damage. They represent the least amount of damage. So
I took out Remnant Reserves, Heavy, and Shoe Sides because those were never. When was I going to play Remnant Reserves?
Yeah.
Heavy's pretty good though, but it's just too slow.
Yeah.
That turn was so important.
Right. Yeah, no. Did you have OC Sopek in both of those games? Yeah. I just couldn't. That was like the lesson of game one was like, well, can't tap out.
If you play into OC Sopek either of those games, I think you lose, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you play a Fighters for Freedom instead of Red 3, for instance.
That felt like, despite you playing cards from the later sets, that felt like more like a set one game. So space is hard to deal with. Yeah, space.
Freaking space, man. We're gonna be in space. There's gonna be all kinds of shit in space the next set.
Yeah. Well, at least it gets more interesting, right?
Oh, very much so.
You're like with the pilots. Pilots just represent like a whole vector of attack. I know people are like, well, pilots die to confiscate, but I mean, you can only pack 3 confiscates, right?
Well, we'll be facing the winner of Jin versus Wat Tambor. She surely
both Jin and Wat Tambor got absolutely hammered.
Yeah.
Both those decks lost a trillion cards.
I'm out of Eddie treats.
Wat Tambor lost.
I'll be right back.
Wat Tambor lost Surprise Strike, Overwhelming Barrage. Just lost all kinds of stuff. So I got to fill time while Justin goes and gets the Eddie treat, so we can fulfill our legal obligation to chat here. Eddie's tail is going crazy. He hears the sound of the treat bag.
Yes, hold on, I gotta open. I know.
Yeah, it's not open.
Okay. All right, now.
Flickers of happiness. Yeah, boom. Lawyer up. Yeah, that's true.
On January 20th, 2025, a Eddie treat was redeemed, and I did not receive it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, we'll be back Wednesday. Yeah, Wat Tambor versus Jin. What's that?
Yeah, and then we need to map this out real fast. Normally we do this off stream, but we may as well do it.
And then we got to go up here
because we have that winner's game, and then we have 6 other games.
Yeah, and there's not going to be any bans down here.
Yeah,
I know there's going to be a win between this, but there won't be bans until after these games are done, right? Because then these decks get bans, and then the 2 winners from these decks get bans.
Yes,
right.
So 4 total cards then.
It would be 6 total cards. The winner of these matches.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're
here.
4 winners. 4 winners.
All
plus
of these decks will get bans.
Okay. So we have 7 games. 7 games to do. Wat Tambor and Jin on this Wednesday,
and then Sunday it'll be this
2 loser brackets game. Well, should we just go ahead and do? We should do 3 losers brackets games at a go, right? Does that make sense? Because we know who's playing.
We can do
right?
this, and then this.
Yeah. And then without changes, we just run them into the next round.
So Sunday we can do Hera, Chewbacca, Grievous, Padme, and then the winner of those 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
And then we could even do like the next Monday, Wednesday of like Monday this, Wednesday this, and then Wednesday also this.
Yeah, Monday is probably the 2, and then Wednesday is the 1. That way we can do the bans and then we talk about the bans and
we'll have the weekend, and then you'll have the weekend to ban.
Yeah.
So by the end of next week, there will be another round of bans.
These have been more fun than most PQ streams. Thank you. I accept that compliment.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, I genuinely do believe that the Star Wars meta is relatively interesting. However, I do think it is relatively narrow compared to the amount of cards that are in the game, which is kind of a shame. Because like one of the selling points to Star Wars Unlimited in set 1 was the amount of leaders.
Yeah, right.
And now we fast forward a year into the game, and the viable leaders are greatly restricted, right? Like there's a whole lot of leaders that I mean, I think of like Captain Rex. Like I know Rex may have won some PQs early, but are you seeing any Rex decks walking around right now?
It's just the freaking bases, dude.
Yeah. I do think the bases hurt. It's interesting because I think the parts of the game are balanced around those existing.
Yeah, for sure.
because I do think those colors are balanced. I mean, the reason why a lot of the green units are so trash is because they have ECL.
Ambush, yep.
They have ECL and timely intervention, right? So,
but it's just like the more cards that are printed, the better those bases get.
You think FFG overtunes set 1? Could be. There's an old record. There's an old music industry adage. You have your whole life to make your first album, and then you've got 1 year to make your second album, right? And so I think that's kind of the case with the first set here, right?
It was cooking for a long time, probably.
They had a chance to make it just.
I mean, like as they're designing the core of the game, they're thinking about set 1. They're designing set 1.
Yeah, and there is evidence that they had designs for stuff later on. However, much of set 2 and set 3, especially in the common area, it's draft chaff. There's a lot of stuff in those areas that are just really not playable and constructed. So Rex's gimmick a swarm, and I think Padme a swarm better than him. Yeah, she's got an extra, she has an extra health point over Rex, right?
It doesn't help that's arguably one of the best set 1 CCGs of all time. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's just about perfect.
Yeah, I would have given set 1 an A+, right?
Yeah.
It's just draft was so fun. I won with every combination. One with all kinds of different leaders, one with all kinds of different color combinations. The set 1 draft really felt about reading the table. And if you could figure out the avenues and the stuff that was underdrafted, you could make a really sick deck if you knew what people were doing. Infiltrator Skill is one of the cards I want to talk about from set 1 for draft purposes. Because there were people who would just play Chewbacca Sentinels.dec, and then you could just draft an Infiltrator Skill, slap it on your leader, and then win the game because your Infiltrator will just dodge all the Sentinels. And something else about set 1, it felt like you could change your avenue of attack, and I think that the set we just played was another good example of that, where I got blown out in the ground arena, so I pivoted to space hard, and you could do that in limited. They were you would draw a card, you're this is my 1 space unit that costs 3 in the deck. I cannot resource this. I have to play this. They were soft on space, so this damage in space can go the distance, and then we can duke it out on the ground however we need to. So Academy Training was another great card in limited. I would first pick Fang Fighters, starting week 2 or 3 of drafting, because Academy Training was so insane. You could drop your 2-drop in space and then Academy Training it and then just let it go to town, right? So limited for set 2, I don't want to call it miserable, but it felt paper rock scissors. I got there were the leaders did not match up nearly as well. The first time I played, I was playing Gar Saxon. My opponent was playing Bosk. So my opponent wants to put bounties on my dude, and they're buffing my guys. So I get extra damage. My leader is giving me extra damage for my opponent trying to use their leader, right?
Yeah.
One of the games that I lost was where somebody was playing Ray, who was really good in that set. Ray, and they played 5 cartel turncoats. So turn 1, it was turncoat.
God.
Turn 2, buff a turncoat, swing for 5 in space. And it was just you didn't have there was one or two good space sentinel. I had Black Sun Starfighters in my deck, but they just
swing, they kill it.
They die to a 1-drop that's buffed, right? So, certain set leaders just obliterated other. Yeah. And so set 2 was I could have drafted way more set 2. I think a lot of people got turned off to it fast. I am if I feel like if I feel like I can be better at something, and I'm still relatively enjoying it. I'm getting crushed. I won't give up. I'll just keep playing.
Yeah.
I just got to keep playing it to learn it, right? Yeah. And I could have played set 2 way longer despite the paper rock scissors nature of it, because I felt like I could have like designed something about it, right? So
thank you, Mr. Erkins, for the 65 months.
Hey, appreciate that. That's a lot of sub in there. Thank you.
That's a lot of primes. Appreciate that. Heck yeah.
And still enjoying set 3 draft. Yeah, I wish we had people who were playing it locally.
I bet
a
it's
little
really
bit more
fun.
Talon roll. But yeah, set 3 felt a lot better. I do think Anakin's kind of like overtuned for set 3, but set 3 was better. So
should be set 4 could be potentially pretty cool.
Yeah, duking it out in space.
Yeah.
It feels like actions are weird in this game, right? I think that might be one of the fundamental design problems with the game, and now that we've got like some time under our belt to think about it, actions are in a really weird spot, because a lot of actions are designed to be thematic, but thematic does not equal good in this game.
You're talking about events?
Yeah, like events.
Okay,
yeah. So I mean, even actions on units are fundamentally bad. I think a perfect example of that is like Crosshair.
I was going to say Crosshair too, yeah.
Crosshair is a great example of that.
Exactly.
His stats are bad, and so the fact that he has 2 actions, he's essentially unplayable, because how are you ever... It's not like Royal Assassin, right? Where your opponent taps to attack you, and then you're like, in response, I'll use this thing and kill him. So
it's just like you have to invest so many actions into the Crosshair, where we just saw, like, if you don't have a good action economy, you're just going to lose the game, right?
Yeah. And so I think that's one of the... I don't know if I'd consider it a flaw. It's just...
It's one of the things you have to get used to with the game. And when you're evaluating cards, especially.
Yeah.
It's sort of disappointing when you look at a card and you're like, oh, I already know this is bad because it looks like it takes so much action investment.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bummer.
Like, Pershing, I think, is a good example. Cost 2, so not a whole lot of negative tempo to play it. Pershing is pretty good in the control shells. One, because he has a hidden text where he's going to gain you some amount of life during the course of the game, because I think a savvy opponent knows you got to kill him, otherwise they're going to bury you in cards, right?
I think they didn't know what the action economy was going to look like as the game developed in their players' hands, right?
Yeah.
Like when they designed Crosshair, that set 2 design, that was 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
When they were designing that set, way before anyone but their playtest group had seen the game. And we all know that once cards get in players' hands, it's way different than when playtesters have it.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think probably as more sets come out, we'll probably see less of things like that, or things that try to make up for that problem.
Yeah. So I think a good example of that is Kraken Gore.
Yeah.
Right. Kraken Gore has an ability when your opponent attacks you. Aura Seeing does another, but these are cards that cost 6 and 7. So you almost need stuff that's further down the curve, like lower in the curve, that have similar abilities.
Like when your opponent attacks your base, right? Like that. Those are the only 2 things that I think trigger off of that.
Yeah.
There's very few, but more things like that would answer situations like
right.
We saw
the legendary, the 4-cost legendary where you capture all the units that attacked your base. Like that's an example. I don't think it's like kind of aggressively costed, but at the same time it's just like not good enough.
It's just
they have already done the damage, right? That's the thing.
Right. It doesn't prevent the damage. It prevents the damage for next turn, and by then, like, they might be playing another unit that turn.
Yeah.
It's then going to do more damage to you, so you have to deal with that guy, but they've already taken initiative because they already attacked.
I wish they would ban Anakin. Anakin's really good in Limited.
Jeez.
He's really good. He's kind of
too good.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not playing like perilous position, like if your opponent plays Anakin and you perilous position them, you have to be in that game state where you can do that. You can get really aggressive. So
interesting, something that happened for AOA: The Desire Side idea of how the game functioned, and the players didn't play it that way. That was for Keyforge. The second set was very, very much worse than the first set.
It felt so weird. Now it's kind of a connoisseur set, and I don't think that is necessarily true for Shadows. I will defend AOA until the day I die, because of how interesting it was. So the ones who are free and or reaction, clearly those leaders will be
especially the reaction ones, because it's like that's a whole action you'll have to take, and that's your whole your leader is built around taking one less action a turn than some other leaders. Sometimes two less actions. Right?
I do think there's like several very key cards in the second set that the omission of those cards will feel very noticeable down the line. So set one Boba. Yeah, set one Boba was really good and limited.
Now we do Chaos Draft for Star Wars. Now we're talking.
Yeah. I could see drafting like everybody's got different amounts of each pack and you're just drafting whatever's coming around. That would be fun. Mm-hmm. The shuffler or whatever for the third set certainly makes trying to get a read on what's being picked from packs a lot harder. Because like the print they're not in traditional print runs,
right?
So there's not necessarily an even spread of the stuff in a pack. So you get handed a pack and you're like, what do they take out of here?
Yeah, you lack synergies.
Chaos Draft and it's tough, nothing synergized. I can see that.
I guess with the next set having having Separatist, Rebel, and Underworld stuff all
there's
in
a lot of keywords in the next set.
Right.
A lot of keywords in the next set.
That's a good third pack kind of thing.
Yeah.
For next set.
There's a lot of keywords in the first and second set. And honestly, I think one of the things for the third set limited that hampers it is the fact that the Separatist Commando and the 3-cost Battle Droid Escort are starter deck only cards.
Oh, those are both starter deck only.
Those are starter deck only cards. They really need to be in the common pool.
Those are huge,
in my opinion.
Commons, yeah.
Yes,
would have been, right?
They're like, it's crazy. It would be like.
So there's like no good exploit enablers in there.
Yeah, so it's like Battle
no Separatist 2-drop. You have droid deployment, but
you're really missing some of those early enablers. Now, like the 1-cost coordinate +1/+1 from the Ahsoka deck, that isn't in either. So yeah. Yeah.
That's why they need more starter cards that's like Luke's lightsaber. You know, stuff that you probably won't
references a character.
Yeah, it's like Ahsoka's lightsaber.
I mean,
that is in there, but
that new Falcon is starter deck only. The double pilot one. I don't know that it the thing about it is the Rebel. That's the thing about that Falcon is it's a Rebel card. So the legendary Falcon from set 1
is Underworld.
Yeah. The set 2 Falcon is Underworld, but this and Gold Leader are both Rebel cards.
And single aspect, yeah. Very playable in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it 3/4 for 3 gets bonuses based off of the pilots on it. So Boba Fett, I think, is interesting, right? I'm skeptical that indirect damage is going to be universally useful. I think there will be very narrow decks that get to take advantage of a lot of indirect damage.
Yeah.
For what we've seen so far, it's like all on red cards. So
mono red indirect damage time.
Chewbacca is a very good card. I think Grit itself gets better, right? Mm-hmm. It feels like Grit is balanced because I felt like you were always overpaying for Grit, but it does feel like Grit was balanced around indirect damage being in the game for quite some time.
Yeah, because like if you drop a Grit guy against the indirect damage deck, they have to really think about
what they're doing all of a sudden. Suddenly that guy like is at 1 HP and is hitting for like 6 or 7 or something like that, right? So
they better have an answer to that.
Mono Red Vader could be sick, right?
Yeah.
Because you do some indirect damage to your opponent, they get their guys like 1 away from dead. Like they have to keep all their guys like 2 away from dead, then, right? So otherwise Vader just like finishes them off.
Hit him with a daring raid.
Yeah. Like get us back to having some money cards, especially help the game, especially for draft. Yeah.
I do think that's
I think
needed.
that was the problem with set 2 for sure. You're like, oh, I'm at the draft table. Oh, sweet, I got a legendary. Oh, it's a finalizer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a I don't know. I mean, just name some of the legendaries from the second set
that aren't Cad Bane.
No, Cad Bane wasn't legendary in the second set.
Oh, he's in the third set.
Yeah, the Cad Bane legendary is in the third set for some reason.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Why?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, I mean, you had Kylo's ship.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Vader, Luke, the double aspect cards, like all of those, you were like happy to open. Home 1,
I guess
Poe
was
was set 2.
Crate Dragon.
Yeah, Poe, Crate Dragon, the finalizer, not the finalizer, the silencer, Kylo's silencer. And what else? I think that's like it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I mean, like the
Darksaber.
Yeah, Darksaber was cool. So.
Okay.
All right, we managed to podcast mode to
Yeah.
pad out the runtime based off of how fast those games
we got to
were.
an hour. Look at that. Perfect. Thanks for watching,
Yeah.
guys.
Appreciate everybody hanging around.
Wednesday.
We'll be back. Bye.